cloud. Okay, so now I press the record. Beautiful book that is called Traditions of the Bible, and one of the things that Kugel brought is John chapter 1, and I think it's a beautiful to see it, because one of the questions that is really important to think about is, was there something before God created? Was God created from nothing, the world, or there was substance that even if he didn't use it, that there was? And I think that in John there is an answer, one kind of answer. What was before? You will see two more, I will say, Jewish answers about wisdom and about the Torah that I brought also today. Let's see this passage, and I would ask Ruth if you can read it to us. Bevakasha.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you pretty good.
Oh, good, okay. Bereshit haya hadaber, v'hadaber haya im ha'elohim, v'elohim haya hadaber. Hove haya hareshit im ha'elohim, hakol nahaya al yadav u meladiv lo nahiyeh kol asher nahaya. Bo hayu hayan u hachaim hayu haor lifnei adam. O haor meor v'choshek o hachoshek lo shego.
And what we can see here, of course, is we can see that
the word Hadibar another word for Yeshua?
I'm sorry?
Maybe Hadibar was another word for Yeshua.
Adavar is the word, or in the Greek, it's the logos. There was, when we're saying Bereshit bara Elohim, so it's God created the world, the word Bereshit, he created the words. And this was with God from the beginning. And then he created the world. This is, how can I understand this? Of course, I would really love to hear if you have more to say about what is written here in John, Ruth or the others.
I always thought that the word Hadibar was another word for Yeshua.
And why do you think that? Why do you think this?
Because Yeshua was there in the beginning with Hashem.
So together. The word, it's not the word as the word in the dictionary or the word as letters, but Yeshua. This is from the beginning.
Yeah, amazing.
So how do you explain the appearance of Yeshua? Of course, is something which is later. So he was.
I would say Yeshua is the physical manifestation of God. Or maybe in some way that was there at the beginning as well. In the Tanakh, when there was a physical manifestation of God, that was Yeshua, though he wasn't called as such. Maybe?
So he wasn't there physically. He was there spiritually, and then physically he joined. This is what you say?
Sort of. He is the physical. When we look at Yeshua, he is God as a physical person.
Okay.
But that part of God was always there. You see what I mean? It's difficult to understand. It's difficult. Many people have debated for many hours on this matter, but
for sure.
The other people, what do they think?
Let's see, Maria.
Yeah, that's exactly how it's thought. For God knew the man would fall in sin. So he made a plan for redemption. And that's kind of, if he asks who will save the people, and Yeshua, his son, said, I will. But it's also when God spoke, it was Yeshua also. They both did it. They made it. They the plan was there. The plan to create the world. But they knew Satan would deceive Eve, and it would they would sin, and they would be exposed from the expelled from the Garden of Eden. So but they so loved man, God so loved. That's why it's Elohim. It's not one, but it's more. It's the Father, it's the Son, it's the Holy Spirit. It's like you have a body, a mind, and your senses. It's three in one. So it's God made us to his image, and he made it so with so much love. He didn't want it to be he didn't want it to have it destructed by Satan. So he made a plan for redemption, and we could not anymore fulfill his law. We all sin. So there was no man born from a man who could fulfill, who could make, who could achieve redemption for all mankind. And Yeshua could, because he came in the flesh. His father is the father, and the womb of Maria was his temporary, his way to come in the flesh. And he lived a sinless life, and they put him on the cross because of our sins. But he was innocent. He was the only one who was just innocent to the true meaning of the word, and that's why he could be the lamb to redemption, the lamb to be slaughtered for redemption. That was the only thing, and that was God said, the Father said, who will save mankind, and Jesus, the Word, said, I will. And he did it voluntarily and fully, in the same love as the Father, one with the Father. That's why Jesus is the Word.
Okay, thank you very much. Detlef, Gabriel, you want to add more things to the discussion?
Do you read me? Do you read me?
Yeah, I ask if you want to add more things to the discussion about the verses from John.
Oh. Yeah, in the beginning, yes, my vision is, in the beginning was the Word of God, and the Word is the Torah, the 5 books of Moses, and then it's standing and it's reading what created is, and then I come a man, and then show the Messiah, and to bring the light in the world. So it's other vision as the mostly Christians see it. About.
Okay, my friend, thank you very much. Gabriel, you want to add more things? First of all, how are you? Gabriel, can you hear us? Okay. Meanwhile, let's continue our discussion. Detlef, can you read it to us now, this verse?
I think Matthew 5, number 17. He said something there that did not come to
Matthew 5:17.
The law, but to fulfill it. That's right. You understand? You can read me?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Don't think that I came in order to detain the Torah or the prophets. I came to make it, not to decline it. Okay. Detlef, this is yours, בבקשה.
אני קורא?
Yeah.
הארץ הייתה תוהו ובוהו וחשך, לא, בחושך על פני תהום ורוח אלוהים מרחפת על פני המים.
One of the questions is, what is tow and vow? What is this meaning? Is it something that relates to physical situation of the world, or spiritual, or it's something that is disorganized? Now, in order to understand the word in the Bible, if it appears one time in the Bible, so you need to understand according to the context. But if, Sharon just joined us, Yofi. But if you want to understand the word itself, and it appears one more time, so just look at the word in the Bible. And if we look at the expression tov vo, or the word, we can move to two places, one in Jeremiah, one in Isaiah. Let's see exactly what we have here in order to understand. Sharon, everything is okay? How are you, Sharon?
Yeah, I finally got in. I guess I was trying to get in. Yeah, I finally got in. I guess I was trying to get into the wrong place, I guess.
Yeah, there was an update of
okay?
Zoom. Yeah, I can hear you good. As we just spoke about the first two verses, and also you read from John, the first verses of John. And now, by the way, before we can continue, we can see that there are three elements that we need to understand before there was a creation. The creation actually is in the next verse when God said, "Let there be light." Until now, it's what happened before creation. So we can see choshech, which is the lack of light. We can see tehom, the deep. We can see water. One of the philosophical questions that in the Greek philosophy was, what is the world? What is the world is from which substance? How it's formed, and one of the answers was water. There are also the four elements of wind, fire, earth, but the first, I think, so don't recall the name of the Greek philosopher, but it was all is water. And let us see, first of all, from Isaiah. He's a cutie one. What is written here, and what can we understand about tov vo? So Sharon, can you read it to us, bevakasha?
Yes, thank you. Lala beyoman lo tikbe la olam ya ala aleh ashana mid dor lador kerab and overba bereshuha ta'al וכפוד בים סוף ועורב ישכנו בה ונטע עליה תוהו ואבנה בוהו.
So Kav Tohu and Avne Vo appears in a place when there is a destruction, when there are only few animals, Ka'at, Kipod, Yanshuf, and Orem, and that's it. So it could be wilderness, or it could be a place that had a destruction, because no one is moving there, en overba, and it's for eternity. So from this we can understand that maybe Tohu Vavo relates to a place of something which is empty, or something that is disorder. The translation here is translation of chaos. But if we want to be sure, let us move to Isaiah. In Isaiah, I brought, sorry, Jeremiah. This was Isaiah. Let me just see that this was correct. This was Isaiah 34. Now it's in Jeremiah 4. In Jeremiah 4, when Jeremiah explained what happened to the people, so there are verses that I brought even more because I saw something which is beautiful to see. Literal, ra'iti, ra'iti, ra'iti. There is what we're calling anaphora. The verse starts with the same word. So with your permission, I would read, Ki evil ami, my people are stupid. Oti lo yadau, they gave me no heed, they didn't know me. Sechalim ema, they are foolish. Velo nevonim ema, they are not intelligent. Chachamim hema le'ara, uleitiv lo yadau. They are clever in order to do something wrong. They didn't know how to do right. So there is before we can see the expression Tohu Vavo, there is an expression about the explanation about the people that they didn't know how to use their brain. Didn't use their brain in the correct way. I think, of course, from the religious point of view. And then we can see, ראיתי את הארץ והנה תוהו ובוהו, ואל השמיים ואין אורם. ראיתי הערים והנה רועשים וכל הגבעות התקלקלו. ראיתי והנה אין האדם וכל העוף השמיים נדדו. ראיתי והנה הכרמל המדבר וכל ערב ניתצו מפני אדוני מפני חרון אפו. One more time, an expression that relates to destruction. And there is no light. Pay attention how verse 23 takes us back to Genesis 1 and 2. We can see Aretz and Shamayim, and even 3, by the way. We can see there is no light, and there would be light in Genesis 1, verse 3. There is Tohu Vavo in verse 2. So it's like that there is not a copy-paste, but there is, those two verses goes together. It's like they are struggling, not struggling, they are trying to, we can understand one by the usage of two. But if I'm not bringing all the context, so it's really difficult to understand. And this is the reason why I brought a verse before and a few verses afterwards. So we can understand that there is a situation here of something which is not ordered. Something that there is a chaos. There are no people. There are elements of mountains and hills and desert, wilderness. But from the other hand, there are no people, there are no birds. And this situation, it's a kind of metaphor of how the world was without creation. Here it's, of course, in a situation when there are people, the people are not behaving well. But from the reading here, we can understand the situation in Genesis 1. And in the situation in Genesis 1, of course, there are no people in this situation. Or people that we can see in the text. Of course, the perception that Yeshua was there, we cannot see in Genesis 1. We can see maybe from the understanding of John, when, as we said before, when we interpret that Adavar or the Logos or the Word was actually Yeshua, the presence of Yeshua. but in the text itself, we cannot see it directly. So it's really important we can understand the Tov Vavoh better when we move to Isaiah and also to Jeremiah. But this is only one hand. Let's see a few more in order to understand. Until now, we've said there is an option to read, in the beginning, God created heaven and earth. This is one option, a title. Or when God began to create heaven and earth, and the land was Tov Vavoh, and the Spirit of God was there, and there was darkness, and the Spirit of God is upon the water. And now, this is actually the first sentence according to the second reading. The first sentence of the Bible, the first action of the Bible, is not the title or the description of time that we can see, or the description of situation that we can see in verse 1 and 2. This is actually when we can see the beginning, when God started to create. Let us see what is written here. So, Ruth, would you like to read it to us?
Vayilmo Elohim Yehi Or Vayehi Or.
It's only 6 words, but pay attention what we can see here. First of all, there is a saying. Is this a saying when God actually said it, or God thought about it? Because the word Amar in the Bible could be not just to say to someone else, but also to say to yourself. And when you say to yourself, you think. And there is a commandment, and there is, after the commandment, it happened. So we can see thought or saying, we can see a commandment, and then after the commandment, it happened. And this kind of cycle of thinking, saying, it happened, and as we're about to see, also to give a grade and also to mention the name of the day, this would be with us in the first story of creation. We are going to see it, of course, next week. Since next week, we are going to see all the story. Now, there was a reason to bring only the first day, only the first verses. It's not just because of the sources. I think that when we start to think about this enormous subject of creation, we must understand that it should be step by step. So this is the reason for me as a teacher to bring only the first 5 verses. Of course, we have more sources. Some of them are written in the syllabus, some of them I added today. So it's really, really important for me to explain what was the reason of doing this. I think that when we learn things, sometimes it's really important to understand why we learn only these sources. So there is a light, as God commanded. And let's see what happens now when we continue to read. Maria, can you read it to us, בבקשה?
Yes, with pleasure. Oh, by the way, Gabriella can hear us, but she
Yeah,
can't.
she wrote me.
Yeah, okay. Vayat Elohim et haor kitov. Vayavdel Elohim ben haor uven hachoshech. Vayikra Elohim leor yom. Velachoshech kara laila. Vayi erev, vayi boker, yom echad. I'll close the door.
Beautiful reading. And then,
So,
after saying that there be light and there was a light, God is giving a grade. The light was good. And do you remember from the Bible who was good also when someone saw him? This verse of to see that it was good appears also in Exodus 2. when we speak about Moses, when the daughter of Pharaoh, sorry, not the mother of Moses, Yocheved, saw him that he was good. Now, good there could be beautiful, could be smart, could be wise, could be. There is a tradition about Moses that he was born circumcised. There are many explanations about what is this good. But the good there starts from the good here. And there is also a distinction or separation between the light and the darkness.
Hey,
Shalom.
sorry, this is my dear sister.
Hey, shalom.
Hi.
How are you?
I interrupt you for a moment. Is it okay?
It's okay.
Okay, I will pick up something. I will be very quick.
It's okay. Take your time.
I
Sorry.
went her over something.
It's always good to have guests here in our class, and thank you very much. Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you too.
What we can see here is it's not just that the light was created. We also saw that there was darkness. Was the darkness the lack of light, or the darkness is something which is, it's an element, a question. But whether we answer this or that, there is a separation between what is light and what is not light, or between the light and the darkness. And this is really important, because this distinction of light and darkness takes us to a philosophical approach that there are the son of light and the son of darkness. It's also, there is a scroll in Qumran, the scroll of the son of light and the son of darkness. And if you are born to a light family, your destiny would be good. And if you were born to a darkness family, your destiny would be bad or evil. So from the beginning, we can see that in order to understand one thing, we need to negate the other. And in order to understand two different things, we need to separate between 1 to 2. Of course, this is two things that are the opposite, light and darkness. And then it's not just a distinction by saying this is light, this is darkness. It's also giving them different names. ויקרא אלוהים לאור יום, ולחושך קרא לילה. Now it's not just different names, Yom for light and Laila for choshech, day for light and night for darkness. Pay attention, we can see Vaikra and Kara. Like in Cain and Abel, we're going to see Vayhi and Hayam. Also in the language itself, it's the same idea of to call. But in order to distinguish, there is a different verbal form, which is beautiful to see it. When you read the text and make, you're diving to the text, you can see more and more understanding of how this is not just a technical text that some people try to think, that there is a word of God, a thought, a commandment, and then a calling name, and then the next day. The art of the story here can show us something which is deeper. Every word here has a function. Every word here is written and create this magical mystery tour of the Bible. So this is the gate to the Bible. This is the gate to the scriptures. When we enter this gate, this is the point when we don't want to come back. We just want to continue. As the letter bet, it's only for one direction. I think that there are so many elements here in the story, some hidden, some we can see, that are so beautiful when we read the text. In order to understand that this is not just a creation, not just a distinction, not just names. We have the time here. So there is Vayi Erev, Vayi Boker, Yom Echad. By the way, it's Yom Echad and not Yom Rishon, because it's the first day. But there wasn't a second day before the first, as there wasn't a second World War II before we had the first one. Historically, the World War I was called one, or the first one, only after there was a second one. So it's really interesting to see it, what we can see here. By the way, Vayi Erev, Vayi Boker, it's a perception of the time in Judaism, that the day actually starts in the evening. So now tomorrow I'm going to be what we're calling an Erev Shabbat. Erev Shabbat is when Shabbat starts. Shabbat starts in the evening, not in the morning, and ends at the evening, and then we're saying Motzei Shabbat, which is the end of Shabbat. So now I'm actually in the evening of Friday. Tomorrow I'm going to be in the evening of Shabbat, of Saturday, and etc. and etc. Now, this is originally when I wanted to stop. I brought one more verse from the Babylonian Talmud, but then I remembered that the Bible is giving us another thing about creation, and we can see it in the book of Proverbs. In the book of Proverbs, we can see that from the beginning, God created the wisdom. And this is something which is beautiful to see. So, Baruch Litrot. And verse 1 in chapter 8 starts, Halo chokhma tikra utvuna titen kola. This is actually when we understand that we're speaking about the wisdom. And then in verse 22, it's written, Adonai kanani reshit darko. God created me, okay, from the beginning. קדם מפעליו מאז, מעולם ניסחתי מראש מקדמי ארץ, בהן תאומות חוללתי, even before the deep, before the תאום, she was there. בהן מעיינות נכבדי מים, בטרם ערים עוד באו, לפני גבעות חוללתי. עד לא עשה ארץ וחוצות, וראש אפרות תבל, it continues even more. So here is a perception that the wisdom, which is something spiritual, you can't find wisdom. You need to have a book, or you need to have a person, was there before the creation. And this is when the Bible gives an explanation to a verse in the Bible itself. This is a midrash in the Bible. But the Bible is not stopping, and we have more sources. And the next one, we can see in Genesis Rabbah. Genesis Rabbah is a midrash from the first 5th century after Common Era. And we can see here, Detlef, you can read it to us. It's with vocalization. Please, dear friend.
Okay. כך היה הקדוש, ברוך הוא מביט בתורה, וברא את העולם והתורה. אמרת בראשית ברא אלוהים, ואין ראשית אלא תורה.
Excellent. So here, another perception, it's not wisdom as something which is abstract. It's the Torah itself. Even the book itself was from the beginning. If it was the 5 books of Moses or of all the Torah, this is another question. But it's less abstract than to say wisdom. And this is in Genesis Rabbah. Of course, it's late than Proverbs. It's even more than 1,000 years after Proverbs was written. But this is a perception. We've seen before that the word was from the beginning. The word whether it's the word itself or the word as Yeshua, which is another perception. And in the Babylonian Talmud, it's written, Rabbi Yehuda said that Rav said, 10 things were created on the first day. The heaven and earth, Tov Vavo, Or v'choshech, Ruach v'mayim, Midat Yom u'Midat Laila, Shamayim v'Aaretz. It's really, really important to understand. This explanation in the Talmud try to fight against the perception that there was something before that the world created. This is the reason why it's written like this, though that in the Bible it's not written like this. והארץ הייתה תוהו ובוהו, וחושך על פני תהום, ורוח אלוהים מרחפת על פני המים. At least 3 things were before there was a creation. Darkness, תוהו ובוהו, תהום, מים. And this explanation in the Babylonian Talmud try to say, no, God also created this. He didn't say that it was created because the main thing is the light. But it was there on the first day. It was created on the first day. So it's really, really, really important to understand this perception, why people would claim this, even though it was not written. When we think about a text, what would create a better faith, better belief? If God created from nothing or God created from something. I think that this is the reason, in order to prevent this perception, this is why it's written here. And it's not just nothing and something. That's it. It's a perception of what would make God greater when we try to believe Him. And I brought you more, dear friends, or I didn't. I forgot that this was the last slide. But pay attention that there are different perceptions when we try to understand the text. First of all, when was this Bereshit? Of course, there is a question. If we're taking the Jewish perception, we are now in the year of 779. Next year it's going to be 780 from the creation of the world. Or, as we said, the creation of the last world, because there is a midrash that God created and goes for destructions of world until this world He was satisfied. Until now. We know the perception of the scientific, that the world was created 15 billion years ago, but a long, long time ago. This is one thing. But in any case, a story is a story. And for most of the people, I think it's not important when it happened. It's more important what is written in it. I think what's so beautiful from the Bible, that when you enter this gate, you are less asking yourself the questions when the gate was open. It's the question that you ask yourself is, when the gate is closed and the letter bet is only for this direction, what do I do with the time that I'm living here? What do I do with the time that God gave me to live? And I think that, as I believe, that trying to be a better person, trying to be more knowledgeable every day, and this is the best, I think, the best gift that we got in this world. I think that the Bible, the creation of the world, of course, that is written here, and this is our subject, takes us back, but eventually takes us forward to a better place, hopefully. So this was just in a nutshell, just to show it to you how it's such beautiful, and how many beautiful perceptions there are when we try to understand this beautiful text. We are going to meet, of course, next week, the same place, the same time. The Black Forest was amazing, I must say. You can see the pictures on Facebook if you have Facebook account. I would just want to remind you one more time. First of all, if you want to dedicate verses for your friends, family, husband, wife, please send them. It could be from the Old Testament and the New Testament. If it's going to be from the Old, I would bring even more commentaries, because there is more knowledge for me in this point. And I would send you back the slides, so you will confirm them to see that it's okay, that there are no mistakes with the name and the verses. And then when you send it to me back, I will take a video here on Zoom, record it, and upload this to YouTube. And then if you wish that it would be spread for other people, so please let me know, and we can send it to your family, and the link would be open for everyone as you wish. This is a small present, I hope, by the way, that with the help of God, this would be something that more people would like to get as a kind of a small present from us. We're still thinking of how to do it. As you, Maria and Sharon, send me the Jackie Lawson cards. So I think that to get a verse from the Bible as a present when someone is dedicated to you, and even with a small commentary, it's a nice present. So you're more than welcome to send it to me, and I will do it as quickly as I can to bring it to you back. That's it for today. As always, it's been a nice time to be here. Thank you very, very much for joining. And I hope that you will have a great weekend. We'll see you next week, the same place, the same time. Shabbat Shalom. Thank you. להתראות.
Shabbat shalom. Let
Thank you,
Isaac
dear
and the
friend.
children from us.
As always, thank you very, very much. And I will see you next week, the